Hi y'all, this is Charity from Frog Crochet, and our devotion today is Return to Sender. There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger of them said to his father, "Father, give me the share of property that is coming to me." And he divided his property between them. Luke chapter 15, verse 11 and 12. God has given his children everything, and he has done so quite willingly. Yet many do not know or recognize that fact. They just see the blessings that God provides: food, air, land, water, shelter, love, and so forth, as something they deserve, something that is owed to them. Such people may live high off the hog, squandering all God's blessings. And then when tough times come, when they are in need, they see themselves as their only resource. They hire themselves out for a job that gives them neither joy nor ample provision. They begin to long to eat what a pig has given for slop. Hopefully, such prodigals will eventually come to their senses. They will go back home to the provider of blessings. They will seek out the God who continually gives and continually loves. Today, take stock of the inheritance of love you have been blessed with. Return to the holy provider of love. Then find the pathway to bless others with that love. And our prayer today is, Lord, thank you for your blessing me with a treasure trove of love. And our prayer jar inspiration is, Father God, teach me how to return and spread your precious love. Alright, that is our devotion, and it is week 3 for our crochet along. Alright, I did not get my big long one done ahead of time, but this is where we left off. We have done your basic single crochet, we did back loop only, did front loop only, and we have done your half double. Now we are going to learn how to do our double crochet. Now I have gone ahead and sewed in some of the ends. I left that so I know what side we left off on. So I am going to start off with the purple. This kitty is I let her pick the next color, and it is the mainstay. It don't have a color name on them at all, so we're just using purple. Okay, I'll make my slip knot. Sorry y'all, I didn't show you. Okay, loop like that and pull. Alright, and again we are using a 5.5 millimeter hook, and that's what this yarn says to use. Alright, tighten this up. And for your alright, and again, you know, like I showed you guys last time, some people like to do a slip knot, and now a lot of people with your double crochets like to do is start off with a slip knot and a slip stitch right there, and then traditionally a lot of people will chain up 3, and then or chain up 2, no, it's chain up 2, sorry, chain up 2, and then you yarn over, go through, kind of like your half double, but you pull up 2. You got 3 hooks on your, or three loops on your hook. You pull, grab your yarn like that, pull through 2. Don't go through all 4 for the double crochet. You yarn over and then pull through 2. That is your double crochet, and then your chain. And some people like to start off this way. I like to start off with a standing double crochet, which is you just basically make your double crochet right there in that first stitch. So I am going to start off with that, which is you just go ahead, you have your loop on your hook, you go ahead, yarn over, you hold that in place. I hold it with my thumb, and you go into your first stitch right there, go through, pull up a loop, and now you have 3 loops on your hook. You just go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. Okay, again, yarn over, go through your stitch, pull up, you got 3 loops, you pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. That is your double crochet. Okay, do it again. Like that. Okay, go all the way to the end. Well, last time I paused this and Miss Kitty had to do a lot of editing. So I am going to just work all the way down this, which is only 30, I can't remember. I think I did 32 stitches, so 31, because we had that chain to turn our work. Sorry about that. I'm trying to keep an eye on my time. I'm at church right now. We've got Bible study, ladies' Bible study here in a little bit. I guess I can turn my sound off on my phone. I don't want my phone ringing during Bible study. We're going to be going and taking little man for his birthday lunch. I know that Wednesday was his birthday, but I had choir practice on Wednesday night, so he wanted pizza for his birthday, so I got him a frozen pizza. They had frozen pizza. Well, Miss Kitty and Little Man had frozen pizza Wednesday night, and me and my husband, we stuck to the liver healthy diet, but other than we did have a piece of cake, because it was his birthday, so we had to at least get a piece of cake. Anyway, but today we are going to take him for, okay, sorry y'all. Alright, I'm at the end. Now make sure you get that last one. Go through, and here, and there we go. That's what it's looking like. That's double crochet. Alright, now like I said, most people, when they do double crochet, they either chain 2 or they chain 3 when they turn their work. That's just this. You just do, I'm going to do a chain of 2. And if you do that, that actually counts as your first double crochet. And then you would just yarn over. Don't go into that one because that's your first double crochet right there. So you would go into the next one right there and do your double crochet, and then you would, your next row, you would crochet into the top of that chain right there. Depending on how tall you make yours, like I said, you know, some people do chain of 3. That way you can crochet, because that's about what the height of it would be. Right there. So you would chain, you would double crochet in the top of that chain. Alright. I will leave it like that so you guys can see when we turn her around and do this next row. I don't traditionally do that. I do an alternative double crochet, so, but just for this purpose I will leave it like that. I just don't like the way it kind of bulges like that, so, but anyway, so we'll just turn our work and go ahead, and that's how you turn your work. You chain of 3, and then don't go into this one because that counts as your first stitch. So you go into the next stitch and you just work your way down. Alright. So anyway, when we were doing, I asked the little man where he wanted to go for lunch. I told him, I said, he's like, well, what places can I go? I said, what, you know, if you want to go to a sit-down restaurant, you know, we can take you to that. I was like, you know, this town here has a Chinese/Japanese, American food. We've been there before. You like it. There's a couple Mexican restaurants in this town. There's a couple of them in this town. There's, you know, Applebee's over at this place, and then there's this steak place that has a buffet, and you could go to that, and he loves the barbecue sauce Country Bob's. So it's kind of like a steak sauce barbecues, I don't know. Anyway, he absolutely loves that, but they actually have Country Bob's on the table. When you have, but it has a salad bar, it has a potato bar, what they call a potato bar. You can get a potato with your steak or whatever, and you can go make it into a loaded potato. But it's just, they got butter, sour cream, all kinds of stuff, bacon bits, shredded cheese. Oh, it's got all the works. Anything you can imagine of to put on a baked potato, they have it on their bar. But anyway, he's like, ooh, but when I told him they had Country Bob's on their tables as like a steak sauce, he said, ooh, I want to go there. But then he's like, but I really want pizza. But, you know, this place, it's more of a just kind of takeout place, and you don't really sit down. This other place that I know of, their pizza tastes like cardboard, so I really don't want that. And it's a kind of a takeout place too, not really a sit-down place. But then he's like, oh, can I go to this one? And he said, they used to have a buffet, but they don't anymore, but it's still a sit-down restaurant, and I like their pizza. Can we go there? We're like, yeah, sure. So that's where we're going to take him for his birthday lunch. And he's invited a couple of friends to go with us. So we're going to be doing that for lunch today. And then after lunch, they're going to head back home, and Miss Kitty and little man are probably going to veg out playing video games all afternoon. And I'm going to go grocery shopping. But they will be with their dad. Alright, now, that is 2 rows. Now, we're going to learn how to do front post double crochet. But first, in this first one, I'm going to put a half double. And then we'll put a half double at the end, because that first one is very hard to do and it don't look right on the ends when you do your front post double crochets. But when you do that, your half double will be about the same height of your front post double crochet. So that's why we're going to do that down here. So we're going to chain up 1, turn our work, and do a half double, which is yarn up. You get 2 loops on your hook and go through your first stitch, pull up a loop. You got 3 loops on your hook, you pull through all 3. Now, front post double crochet. You got yarn over, you go around the post like this. You take your hook in between these 2 stitches right here, and you go behind that stitch. You pull, you wrap your yarn kind of like this, and then you pull, grab your yarn, pull through and around that, and you got 3 loops, so you pull through 2, then you pull through 2. Just like that. You yarn over, you like that. Oh, hook my yarn. You go behind here. Make sure you don't, like I did, I just stuck my hook through the stitch. You want to go all the way back and not catch that. And you go around that, and you're just wrapping that yarn around that previous stitch. See? And it'll look like this. I don't know if I can get the lighting to work with me. It'll look like that on the back. Okay? So we're going to do front post all the way down, except for this last where the 3 chains are. So do all the way up to here. This one, do front post double crochet, and then I'll show you what we need to do here. Yeah, little man, for his birthday, he wanted a gas mask. Don't know why, but he wanted a gas mask for his birthday. And my husband ordered him a respirator, but it actually has a face shield with it. But he got that for his birthday. And me and Miss Kitty were out one day shopping, and one of the local stores, because they've got their Halloween costumes out, actually had a fake costume gas mask. And she's like, oh, we gotta get that for him. He's wanting one, and we need to get that for him for his birthday. And I was like, yeah, okay. So we went and got that. I got him a few things. I got him a John Deere hoodie or jacket, Pikachu sleeper, and a couple of erasers for school. And then he likes Star Wars. I got him a couple Star Wars toys. But my husband was there when Miss Kitty gave him that gas mask for the Halloween gas mask. And he said he was very, very gracious about it. But he has been apparently wearing it. He's also been wearing the respirator. But he also, his aunt had give him some gifts for for his birthday. She gave him a winter long sleeve shirt and a chemistry set, a little small chemistry kit, and he has absolutely loved that. He has been begging his dad almost every day since to help him do some of the experiments. And one of them, he's like, yeah, that's gonna make a mess, so we better do this one outside. So he is not one of them that they have. He's not done yet. He has gotten to do a couple of them that are not as messy. So, but he has thoroughly been enjoying this little small chemistry set. Okay. Almost to the end. The reason why I have not gotten my really big one done, I had an idea for something and I started rolling with it the other day, and my brain would not shut down on that idea until I started working on it. And I finally started working on it last night instead of doing the long blanket one for the lap blanket. Alright, I'm down here to this end, and what we're going to do, because your chain, you got 1, 2, 3, that top chain right there, we're going to half double. You just go through 2 loops here, and we're going to half double in it like that. Let's see, that makes it the same height, and it will kind of curl up like that a little bit, but that's fine, because when we work on other stitches it'll work itself out. But so don't worry about that. It will try to, because you got this ridge right there, so that's why it wants to kind of come forward on you, but that's fine. So we're gonna again turn our work. We're just gonna chain up 1, whoop, flip our work around, and we're gonna do a half double right back into that half double. So yarn over, go through, pull up, you got 3 loops, and pull through all 3. Now this might be a little more tricky because you've got already that. So what we're gonna do is go through again, make sure you'll have that ridge here. That's your first one. Now, well, that is your first stitch, but it's a half double. We're going around the first double crochet. So you go around this one and pull up, go through 2 and go through 2. Right, and then your ridge will be on the other side. There you go. that easy. So, see? Your front doubles are on that side because we've turned our work. So now your ridge is here, but when you turn your work on this side, you'll have a ridge here too. Now, if you were wanting it to look different than this, don't have the ridges on both sides, you want all the ridges on one side, you could turn around and do the back post double crochet along here, do front post and then do back post so that all your ridges are on one side of it, and then you would have a different look to this. But we're just learning how to do our front post double crochet, so it will be a ridge on both sides of your work for now. And then we will do, next week we will learn how to do the back post double crochet, and then we can put them together and do what I was talking about, is do front post one row and do the back post the next row, so you'll see what I'm talking about, how it'll make it look different. It's all in how you do your stitches of how the pattern's going to come out. And then, so that'll be week 4 because this is week 3. Week 5 we will probably introduce the most unused stitch. A lot of people don't like using the treble crochet, but I don't mind using it for some things. It does use up yarn. So if you want to, if you've got a lot of a certain kind of yarn and you want to use it up, this will use up that yarn. And some patterns do have the treble crochet. And I will probably introduce that, and then I will introduce how to put little spaces in between doing the stitches, where you have some projects where you see gaps in between some of your stitches. Now, I have a lot of people that have been crocheting for years. How did you do that? They don't have any idea how to do it, even though they've been crocheting for years. And it is really simple. It's not that hard. Alrighty, we're almost to the end, y'all. So, next week we will learn how to do back post. Okay, there we go. Wanting to grab that one. We don't want that one. Alright. That's our half double. We don't want to grab that. Alright, and we're down to the half double. We just go, I only got one loop. Where's the other loop? There we go. I got through both. Alright, we're just going to do a half double, and that's it. That's what your work's going to look like if you've been following along. See? And you turn it over, you're going to have that ridge on that side. Alright, so next week we will learn how to do the back post double crochet, and then we will alternate. We'll do, after we do that, we will go ahead and do the front post, and then we'll do a back post row, so you'll see what that looks like when we do that. Anyway, alright, I hope you all have a wonderful and blessed day, and I guess I will catch you next time. Bye, y'all.